nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Beyonce wins Country Album of the Year at the Grammys. Let's talk about it. What? What? You mean to tell me the Country Music Awards had their award show? That's their genre. They did not give Beyonce one single award, but the Grammys gave her out Country Album of the Year. Make that make sense. I'll wait. That is the most bizarre thing, and that's not the word I really want to use, but that's just that. Is it because she's Beyonce? And don't you find it odd that Beyonce and Jay-Z, they don't even attend award shows anymore. They don't go. They just win awards because like they're the elite. It's Beyonce and Jay-Z. You do not get to remake a classic country song by an iconic country singer. I'm speaking of Dolly Parton and her Jolene. You don't get to remake that and then call yourself a country music artist and then throw some Cowboy Carter, like, oh, because she's from Houston, she's a cowboy. Like, I don't understand, or a cowgirl, whatever. The Country Music Awards didn't give her one single award, and she strolls her ass over to the Grammys and wins the top award. What about Post Malone? What about Lainey Wilson? Her album is amazing, and I like country, but she's amazing. And they gave that award to Beyonce. And then in the same air, in the same breath, she's like, oh yeah, and I'm doing another concert. I mean, she didn't say that at the award show, but she's announced that she's going on tour again. Why? You just came off a tour. And didn't you charge your fans like thousands of dollars for a concert ticket? And didn't you then film the whole concert and put it in the movie theater? So everyone who spent thousands of dollars to see her in an arena could have went to the movies and saw her for like, what, $15? Like, what? What? They don't even, like I said, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they don't even go to award shows anymore. So why were they there last night? Because she wins awards and she's never in the audience. So she didn't have to be there last night. And she was stunned. Meanwhile, all through the internet, people are so upset that that award went to her. And I'm right along with them. Beehive, you can come in the comments and I'll tell you all about why that was not a thing. You don't get to sing Jolene and call yourself a country music artist. And you don't get to wear a cowboy hat and make a song called Cowboy Carter and become a country artist. That's not how it goes. So Lainey Wilson, I think, should have won. And then if she didn't win, they could have given it to Post Malone. There were a couple of other nominees. I'm not going to speak on them because I don't know their music. But Post Malone and Lainey Wilson are amazing. And I think they got robbed last night. And we're not going to talk about Kanye and Bianca Censori. Like, what is going on in the music industry? When you can do that and then you can win an award as a country artist, but you're not really a country artist. Please like this video, share it, leave me your comments. Are you I'm laughing, but I'm kind of pissed at the same time. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Thanks again for sharing, and if you're not following me, follow me because this is where I come.
Okay, so I've been looking at several videos of all of the Beyonce hate ever since she won Country Album of the Year, and I've seen a few Rocket Raccoons that are just getting on this wave. I've noticed this since the election of President Elon Musk, Vice President Trump, and Trump's assistant JD Vance. Since they were elected, there's a lot of Rocket Raccoons that are jumping on waves. There are so many people who were a part of the Manosphere, the Red Pill, and all of that, and they've grifted their ass over to Republican land, where they can't even muster up enough energy that you can believe what's coming out of their mouth. The acting is bad. Nothing they say is believable. They don't have anything intelligent to say that could persuade you into think that they really believe this. Is just a grift. And this woman right here, I don't know who she is, but I can tell by the people who are in her comment section and who are commenting that she is placating to her audience. So I think this is what's really going to kill TikTok, is the fact that people are grifting and saying things that they don't mean. And you can really see, people who are performing for certain people to put what they want to hear in their ear, and they are willing to do that for the clicks and views. I think it's ridiculous. I like people who have their own mind and can articulate themselves on their position, but to sit up here and talk about Dolly Parton when she basically liked the song, and for people to talk about that there were other albums, maybe the album wasn't good to you or you didn't like the songs and you like somebody else, but there was a hell of a lot of people who did like it. So it was popular. Between Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar, I pretty much figured that they would, win quite a few awards, because when I think about, all of the songs, I mean, they were dominating 2024. So between the two, I'm not surprised about that. I'm not even surprised about Kendrick Lamar performing for the Super Bowl. It was to be expected because he has been on a really big wave right now. And as far as Beyonce making a country music album, country music is black music. I don't care what anybody says. And just because they whitewashed it and watered it down and called it something else, it will forever be black music. All music comes from us, the originators. It is what it is. They can be mad. And I've been enjoying seeing them red in the face and pissed off and in shock that this happened. Because in this time of President Elon Musk and Vice President Trump, they expect everything to go back to like the 1950s or the 1930s, where not one person with a tan in their skin will get anything, and everything is for them, and they can act however they want to, say whatever they want to, do whatever they want to. They crave that so bad, and it's not happening. And what's happening is they are so disappointed. And you see several times there are people who are saying DEI. So at this point, you know that that's an insult, just like the N-word. They're being disrespectful. And what the hell is wrong with diversity, equity, and inclusion, you may ask? Nothing. Nothing is wrong with that if you are capable. But when you have been mediocre and your mediocrity has given you so much, that's why they fear others coming in. It's like if you just have your group and a lot of the people in your group are mediocre, they're not smart, they're not intelligent, they can't go beyond their basic level abilities. Then you get all these other people who have been through a lot of hard stuff and have to be 88 times better than everyone else. And then you bring them into the fold, or you bring several. And now these people are being shown up. They feel stupid. They feel incompetent. And you make them feel that way. So that's why they don't want you in certain spaces. That's why they keep saying DEI. It's not a dig at, like black people. It's not a dig at us. It more talks about their abilities. Because every time I see someone who says DEI or try and label something DEI, I know that person is usually unskilled, unlearned, uneducated, and they are not capable. They don't have the skills and ability, and that's why they are screaming DEI. They are the definition of WEI, which is white, entitled, and incompetent. So, and I put these people in a group, and it's WIE, something I came up with a long time ago because they tried to label black people as extremists. So it is white identity extremists, and I put these people in that group. They want to be like you. They want to think that they have the ability, but then when they are tested on their merit, their knowledge, and their skills, they fall short. I literally experienced this at work, and I'm sitting here. It's like I have a table set in front of me to see how incompetent these types are. And I work around a lot of colorless women, and they have an attitude. One of them was so unprofessional that I wish I had got it on film. And it was the most unprofessional thing that you could ever see. But what ended up happening is there was some things going on, and they were trying to show off like they knew more than the black women in the department. And they ended up fucking things up and embarrassed. And they had to run out of the office. And I know they were like, thank goodness it's Friday. They royally fucked some shit up because they thought that now that they felt they knew more, so they could perform better, and they still ended up being mediocre and incompetent. And who do you think actually was figuring stuff out? It was the black people in the department. So yeah, this is not anything new to me, that you have certain people who are they are in shock. They are angry because this happens to them in their real life. The people who are yelling about Beyonce's win is because it's triggering something in their real life, because they have experience being mediocre to a black person, and it kills them a little bit every day inside when they have to go to work or wherever it is that they experience this. A black person just existing, not being a mean person, just existing in all of their greatness, crush them. And that's why they're taking all their frustration out on Beyonce. I mean, this woman has been what? She's been in the business over 20, 25 years. If you break down all the Grammys that she's won, it's like she's won a Grammy every year that she's been in the industry. But I mean, you can't be mad at someone for presenting something and it being received well over so many years. I mean, it's the difference between entertainers, models, everything, every genre or field you can think of. It's always been different. They have to filter through a lot of their own people just to keep things up. They always have to have the new blonde girl, the new it girl, the new actress, the new that to replace, the previous one to keep people interested. But you can see a Beyonce, you can see a Naomi Campbell. They can be doing this for years and just killing it and everybody loving it. Multi-generations loving it. Michael Jackson, just go down the list and you can see the difference. But yeah, I have been enjoying Black History Month. There have been so many colorless tears I've been enjoying with my tea and lemon, and I can't wait for many more. Also, I wanted to bring up, you will always have Black lips. You will always have a slave. You will always have a Rocket Raccoon who will speak against their own if they can get a cookie from massa. They've been around for a very long time, and they are around today. So it's not shocking. So I don't want to hear this Black person said, hey, come on. Look at Candace Owens. As much as her Jewish friends have pushed back on her, she still will not do them the way she did Black Americans. But yeah, I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think about this situation. Those who are talking about they didn't hear anything about the album, I doubt it. I don't believe it. They did hear it. They just thought that they had more sway and more pull and that one of theirs would win. And now they're sad. I'm enjoying it. How about you?
Queen Bee, Beyonce had a record-breaking night at the Grammys on Sunday. And some folks at Fox News apparently are not happy about it. Take a look.
Dolly Parton has 10 Grammys. Frank Sinatra had 11 Grammys. Beyonce has 35. How is that possibly commensurate with that talent? I mean, come on. And what people don't know about the Grammys is everybody votes in every genre. You can vote in up to 20 genres. So basically, Lady Gaga's Cat Sitter votes for best reggae and best country album. So that's why you get this ridiculous outcome that has nothing to do with the country audience or the country musicians.
Sir, are you aware that you have to be in the music industry to be a Grammy voter? Mm-hmm. So the cat sitter cannot just vote. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Are you aware that when the Grammys began in 1959, there were only 28 categories. Now there are 94. And the year that Frank Sinatra got 6 nominations, despite having 2 #1 albums, he only won 1 Grammy that night for his album cover. Not even for his singing, for the album cover. Listen, man, you can't do that. She earned it. The thing you have, you wanna hold on to country music like white people didn't also buy her country album? Come on, man. People voted for it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Same with the Oscars. Sit down.
Well, and also Ken Burns did an amazing documentary on kind of the history of country, and musician John McEwen said, quote, "It was music of the country. It was a combination of the Irish, the recently freed slaves, bringing the banjo into the world, the Spanish effects of the vaqueros down in Texas, the Germans bringing over the oompa of polka music, all converging. Country music was made by everyone for everyone, and it was of the people."
Yes.
So it's very ignorant, and it screams of that, aside from the fact he doesn't realize Lady Gaga's cat sitter doesn't vote, that, like, this was never a thing.
Also, never mind, Beyonce was already the most decorated artist at the Grammys since 2023. She's already won so many. This was just awesome because it was a new category. People didn't think she'd win it, and she finally won Album of the Year. And I would just note, as someone who's loved her since 1999 when she was in Destiny's Child, she has been an icon for 25 years. She's put out 13 albums. Like, this isn't somebody who it's like she's just getting praise for this one album in this one moment. She's been like a generation for us.
It seems to me, though, that the reason that Fox News or whoever that was
is upset is because she won Best Country Album, and she won Album of the Year with country music. And, you know, I understand that there were other influences in terms of country music, but one of the greatest influences has been the African American community. But the banjo, the instrument, comes from Africa. They brought that with them here when they were enslaved. And the other thing you have to note is that in the 20s, there were two types of sort of country music. One was called the hillbilly music. You know this, Whoopi. The other one was called race music. So that music was just supposed to be black country. The other one was supposed to be white country. What they then did was, because so many black country stars were involved in the white version of the hillbilly music, they erased them from history. They had white stand-ins sort of strumming the banjo when actually a black person had participated in that. And so country music is very much black music. It is very much American music. And so the fact that she is from Houston, Texas, and grew up on country music makes it all the more appropriate for her to be a country music singer.
Guess who else loved Cowboy Carter?
Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
By the way, you know, she was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Music does not have the issues you have.
Yeah.
Music is about the people. We like what we like. We vote, we listen, we vote with our money. Then people come in and they vote. They don't always give you what you want, but they give you something. So please, don't try to make music about us and them. It's all us.
White women try to act normal, challenge level impossible. Watch this. Especially when it comes to black women, white people, the reason that they struggle with DEI so much is because they genuinely view these kinds of wins as something that is taken from them. So even these young white women, right, that we all may be making the mistake of thinking that these young white women are woke, aware of and understand the political landscape, they understand the misogyny that we as women all face. What they don't understand is intersectionality, and what they don't understand is that Beyonce winning does not take anything away from anybody. It just rewards her success. And this is the part that's really hard for white people to wrap their brains around. When somebody who doesn't look like them is rewarded for their actual and honest success, the way that Beyonce has been. Every year that Beyonce has lost, it's been like, oh, well, everyone that's nominated really is a winner. Like, it doesn't really matter. But this year, people are very vicious about, oh, she took this from Billie. She bought this. She could have bought a Grammy at any point, y'all. And even though Taylor Swift has won like 3 different Grammys, nobody ever accuses her of buying them. It's very interesting. She definitely bought it. It's because everyone is scared of her all of a sudden. Just this year, they all became so scared of her. So they finally gave her a Grammy. Like, y'all sound pathetic. Y'all sound like sore losers. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be sharing air with y'all. For real. It's especially for me, the people that are like, I never heard of it. I didn't even listen to it. But I don't think it should have won Best Album of the Year. At least have something valid to criticize about the album. But you can't. You can only say that you liked another album better. You can only say that you were more exposed to another album. And you should also think about why that is, right? And why that other album was by a white woman. And why you were more exposed to it, more comfortable with it, you liked it more. Think about all of that. Because for you to say, I didn't even hear about the album and it shouldn't have won in the same breath is crazy. And it's showing your ass a lot more than you think. Put it together. I didn't hear the album and I don't think it should have won. You have to pick one. Either you didn't listen to it or you didn't hear anything about it or whatever. Or it's so mid and it's so bad that this album shouldn't have won. You can only pick one. Or else we're just going to have to start calling a spade a spade. It makes sense that the people that are the most mad about this are mediocre white women because they are the ones that get the most triggered by black women's excellence because they were promised that spot. White women were promised that spot if they just agreed to serve the patriarchy, to serve white supremacy. They're supposed to be rewarded for that, not the black women, okay? And that's the mindset that's coming from a lot of white women right now, and especially young white women. And that is really embarrassing. It's very cringe. You need to focus on bigger and better things for yourself. It's crazy to me how so many people will watch their favorite artist literally say that Beyonce is their favorite artist. I know that's something that Chappell Roan says about herself, and it's not true. This is your artist's favorite artist. This is, if you were to ask, and they've asked a bunch of random musicians, producers, whatever, who is the best singer? And over half of them said Beyonce.
Who do you think is the best singer alive?
Best singer alive? Beyonce.
It had to be Beyonce.
Beyonce. I would say Beyonce.
Justin Bieber. There was one time we freestyled for hours and made 20 songs over the same beat.
Personally, I love the sound of SZA's voice.
I really want to honor Mariah Carey and the fact that she has like an 8-octave range.
We have Beyonce. We have Jasmine Sullivan.
Nobody else really got more than one vote. So she actually is your artist's favorite artist. We need to first of all get that straight. Nobody at the Grammys was mad last night that she won. So stop carrying water for people that don't need their water carried for them. I promise you, Billie is not upset right now. The way that Billie has spoken of Beyonce.
Some of the greatest artists of all time, like Beyonce, have made these visual albums. And I think she gave people the false impression that everybody could make a great visual album.
I know.
And so I think,
everyone's always trying and no one can ever do it like me.
3 in a row or whatever. It's crazy. So
The way that her and other musicians lined up just to talk to her at last year's Grammy. That should tell you everything you need to know about how Billie herself feels about Beyonce getting this award. I promise you she's not mad. Billie has her entire career ahead of her, and Beyonce's been snubbed for 25 years.
My Little Pony grew up. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's absolutely amazing. What an amazing night this is. It's just so lovely, everyone here. Everyone's donating.
We can have a conversation about which album of hers deserved it the most, but I don't think it matters. I believe that this album is no different. This is an incredible album. It's just very easy to forget how amazing somebody is when they constantly come out with amazing, complete, full, robust bodies of work. She could have done what your favorite artist does, but your favorite artist could never be Beyonce. I think a lot of mediocre white women are going to be upset about this because they want to see themselves represented. A lot of white women hate the excellence of black women. Once again, they were promised this spot, and they get so mad anytime that a black woman is given this award, which has historically been like twice. It's embarrassing, and y'all are telling on yourselves very loudly. Pipe the fuck down and let people celebrate. This has been 25 years in the making. This has been 25 years of consistency, 25 years of excellence, 25 years of bringing other people in. A lot of people said, oh, there's 67 writers on the album. Exactly. People don't understand. Even women that are like, oh, we need to live in a matriarchy. When they see a matriarchy in real life, they're like, oh, 67 writers. Billie would never. Exactly. You're right. Anyway, ladies, it's a bad look. It's also a terrible look to talk about how you've never heard of Cowboy Carter. And if you say that, we all know you're lying, by the way. We all know you're lying. Sad and pathetic. And especially the fact that once again, most of y'all are women is very disappointing. This is why at the end of the day, we don't have unity. This is why at the end of the day, we don't want to unite. We can't unite as women because some of us white women will be so quick to see injustice as soon as we perceive it even happening to somebody that looks like us. Then we see the injustice. She could have paid for a Grammy the whole time, but she hasn't. That's why y'all are mad, because she actually did deserve it over everybody else. Because this was actually a complex, robust body of work. Also, in typical white fashion, a lot of us are upset about this because we don't realize that they changed the pool of Grammy voters to be more women, younger, and to be more diverse. All of this anger, this misplaced anger tells me is that once again, white people have come to be rewarded for their mediocrity. They have come to expect a reward for not doing very much at all, for not putting in the work. Now they're upset when these awards are actually going to the people that worked the hardest, that have been around the longest, that actually deserve it the most. That's a lot of white people's real problem with DEI. Now that the pool is bigger, you have to do more. You have to be better. So stop crying and do what you need to do. Be better. Expect better. Learn to judge people on their merit, and learn to separate yourself also objectively from these people. Because once again, I promise you, Billie Eilish does not care. Like most people, again, that are not you losers, that are even close to being Beyonce's peers, because I personally believe she has none, but most people that are even close to being her peers are happy for her, and you're not. So think about that. I feel sorry for you, and I feel embarrassed for you. Please stop. Godspeed.
I'm going to demonstrate the double standard that there is when it comes to what's considered real country. This is a chart that I have made, and I'll explain it to you. This is Blake Shelton. He is a white man. He is from the South, and he has a classic country sound, and he's considered real country. This is Keith Urban. He's a white man. He is not from the South. He's actually not even from America. And he has a classic country sound, so he's still considered a real country. Then there's Morgan Wallen. He's a white man. He's from the South, but he experiments with his sound. He actually implements a lot of sounds that come from Black culture. For example, he puts beats in his country songs, but he is still considered real country. Then we have Darius Rucker. Darius Rucker is a black man. He's from the South, and he has a classic country sound, and so he is considered real country. Lastly, there is Beyonce. She is a black woman. She is from the South, and she experiments with her music. She is not considered real country. Now, what is different? Morgan Wallen is from the South, and he experiments with his sound and implements aspects from Black culture in his music, and it's still considered real country. So why can't Beyonce do the same thing? Well, it's because there's another secret category, and it's called, are you a Black person celebrating Black culture? And if so, somehow it's not considered real country. And that is the double standard that Beyonce faces.